And pretty much, I mean, I guess you could kind of consider this part two of the other live I did. And I found some things in my notes that I just wanted to make sure I went over. So, okay, so I went over, you got to go watch the live I just uploaded for August 22nd, the last live I did. And I talked about what an aware empath is, right? So, okay, so I think I may have went over this. So the type of empaths you want to be leery of being around, because I'm actually exposing why empaths are bad as well. Okay, the type of empaths you do not need to be around is one, if they're defending abusers too much, covering for their wrong, that keeps you ensnared and it keeps you in contact with your abusers. Okay, so I just wanted to make sure I covered that. Um, let me see. Okay, so I also went over in the last live that you're taught to keep narcissists away, but not taught to keep empaths away. So I'm teaching the risk of empaths as well. Why do you get cursed out, y'all? No matter what narcissist is cursing you out and stuff like that, basically it boils down to you're not a supply source anymore. And most of the time when you're getting cursed out a lot and they're real mad with you, you was a long-term supply source. So you was like their parent, their caregiver, their sibling that took care of them on their deathbed. Um, you were the relative that didn't put them in a nursing home, kept them at your house 8 to 10 years, stuff like that. I mean, basically, you destroyed your life to take care of a narcissist, okay? And narcissists can be disabled as well, y'all. All narcissists ain't walking and talking. Um, I'll go over another video of that. I'm gonna do a video about coffee, y'all, and what doctors tell people about coffee, because this one lady claimed that her doctor told her it was okay to drink coffee every day, and it's not okay to drink coffee every day. But I'm going to go over the dynamics of why, if you are a black woman and you suffer from overweight and obesity, we're the number one to actually believe a doctor. Okay, when a doctor tells me to drink coffee every day, I could get on the scale and know that that's not true, right? So, whether even if you don't put cream and sugar in your coffee every day, even if you don't use cream and sugar in coffee, you just shouldn't be drinking it every day. And I will do a whole live about that, y'all. Um, just on how if a doctor say it, it must be true. That's a horrible doctor to tell her that to drink coffee every day. And this one particular sister on her channel, she got a big old mug, y'all. Like my coffee cup, it's so tiny, y'all. This lady got a big old mug of coffee. The amount of coffee you supposed to be drinking, it's no bigger than half a cup and a third cup put together. Like no more than literally a measuring cup, y'all. It's horrible. So I just wanted to make sure I had covered those things. Um, so I'm gonna be steadily exposing stuff. So if you are dealing with empaths and they are male or female, there's a naive side that goes with empathy as well. That only can be coming out of you once you become an aware empath. An aware empath means you have lowered your emotional thinking and you are using more logic, not stupid empathy. Empathy is emotional and it's not always logical and best for you. So things like and I gave comparisons of how it is dealing with a narcissist and a non-narcissist. So like okay, let's go over jails. How we view jails. A jail and prison is one of the most dangerous places that anyone can be in, especially your relatives, friends, and family. So, people that are incarcerated, visit them. Always check the jail system to see if they still there, y'all. You call, see what their status is. Okay, watch the Robert Brooks videos and see what all them big old white men, and I think some of them are not all white, did to Robert Brooks. So he was in prison. They beat him to death. It's pretty hard beating. I don't think that's part of his sentence. He's supposed to be sentenced to do so much prison time, right? But in his case, because of the diabolical wicked guards, his sentence is death. So a lot of times, and this is something that narcissists that are around, let me see, let me say hi as someone just came in. Hi, Mark Mays. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you being here. Thank you for the comment in chat. So Mark, you can go back at some point and watch the other live I just uploaded where I explain more of what an aware empath is. So there's this naive trait that comes with being empathic, right? And it's not good. It's very harmful. So what empaths will do to other empaths, we'll think they're like we'll think they're like superstitious or paranoid in some sense. So like if I looked at my ex narcissist, if I say something like, well, I'm checking the jail or something like that, my ex narcissist, he's more of he's done more diabolical wicked things in his life, right? So he's gonna be like, oh yeah, check that jail. But empathic men and ladies, they're more like, oh, well, you just went to go see the person. Why you calling the jail? It's a naive trait that empaths have as well. So as you come into being aware, you got to let other empaths know the truth. Well, why you checking this? Why you checking that? So that person don't die. That's why I'm checking it. And if they was dead, I want to know sooner. Okay. Jails are very dangerous places. So are prisons. Empaths will do this when you're checking, say you got your mom in a nursing home and the empath knows you just went to visit and you call the next day to check on them, right? The empath may be like, well, you just saw your mom yesterday. You don't care. You checking on them today. You ain't seeing them today. So today you want to hear mom's voice. You checked on mom yesterday, but now you want to hear mom's voice. So yeah, there's this very naive trait that you will experience with empathic people that won't be there with narcissists. Because of the things narcissists have done in their life, they know how wicked the world is. Because they've done more wickedness. Okay? The ex-narcissists, they've already done wicked things. So they understand why you're checking on your people. A narcissist might tell you, yeah, you better go check on your people because they beat the shit out your people, dog. That's how narcissists will be. So, like I said in the first video, some of the most uncomfortable positions you can be in or with narcissistic people and other empaths. That's just the truth of the matter, because the narcissistic people, they the ones gonna be highly jealous of you. Now with empaths, what I like about other empaths, you don't experience so much of the jealousy. Okay, so that's that trait is minimized. But the empath can be kind of depressed and sad if they not on they what they feel they should be doing. So they can suffer from that. So hopefully that makes sense. I'll go over, let me check the comments, y'all. Okay, let me see. Spencina M says hello. So hello to Spencina M. And then Lauren says Lauren Carbaugh says anxiety keeps on trying. Anxiety keeps on trying me. Feel it quietly trying to silence me. Yeah, my anxiety can't shake it. All of me, somebody's watching me, and my anxiety. Yeah, okay. So Lauren, so with the anxiety thing, I have that, and I was just talking about this in my last video, right? So what's happening is you're not using your anxiety and understanding what it's there for, right? And it's okay to be silenced because your anxiety is telling you to listen and observe. Okay. It'll be moments when anxiety is going to allow you to talk. So your anxiety is actually a blessing in disguise if you understand it. In one of my lives, I think the live I did from August 21st, I put on there to get St. John's wort. So I don't know if you're taking prescription meds. I don't take none of that. So here I still got the pills here. I still got the pills here from, so you hear this? So St. John's wort, Nature's Bounty brand, 300 milligrams. It's a herbal health. It will help you with anxiety. This has 100 capsules in it. So you can take up to 3 a day. So that would be 900 milligrams. It's very rare that you would have an emotional reaction from this. It promotes a positive mood. And so I talked about this on my August 21st live. So if your anxiety is out of control, consider getting this. It's Nature's Bounty, Natures Bounty, Bounty, and get the capsules. Okay, so that'll help your anxiety. Stop drinking soda pop. Stop drinking too much coffee. For example, like the one sister where I was going to talk about doing a live, her doctor told her to drink coffee every day. Of course, her doctor wants her to do that because that's going to increase anxiety over time. She doesn't know the long-term side effect that's going to have. You shouldn't be drinking coffee every day. You just shouldn't. So just get you some St. John's wort. Anxiety is my protection because it helps my intuition and it keeps me out of bullshit. Anxiety, it helps me to plan and schedule things. Anxiety dictates when to back out of things, when to not indulge at wrong times. Anxiety helps me not make hasty decisions. I don't indulge in things too quickly like I used to. Anxiety, I love my anxiety because it teaches me to plan. Like have a plan, talk things out, and then you'll have a better outcome. So Lauren, what you want to try to do is get your anxiety under control so it will be a blessing to you. Okay. And if your anxiety is saying silence yourself, then it's nothing wrong with that. What's wrong with being quiet and listening for a while? You don't want to shake anxiety because it's a blessing. You just want to reduce it to mild so the anxiety is not taking control of you. See, if the anxiety is too much in control, then you can't function because you shaking and trembling, you stuttering, you sleeping too much, you up too long, you can't answer your phone, you worried all the time. You don't want that type of anxiety. That's where anxiety's out of control and it's taking over, and the devil is just manipulating your anxiety. However, if you have mild anxiety, see, I know if my anxiety is kicked in and it's saying, be quiet, okay, be quiet. Because guess what? If I do that for a day, what's wrong with being silenced for a day? Okay, guess what? I won't have a headache or a migraine. Anxiety is your best friend. If I would have had anxiety many, many years ago, I would have never been in that marriage I was in. I wouldn't have been in a lot of situations. So it's your protector. Now it won't be your protector if you go to the doctor and take all that bullshit they giving you. Then you're gonna be more crazy. Okay. With anxiety, a big trigger too is what you eat and drink. One of the meals that I don't indulge in, this is a meal that I don't indulge in that helps my anxiety. You'll never guess what it is. Which meal do I not indulge in? Is it breakfast, lunch, or dinner? I'm gonna have one of y'all guess. Which would be the number one meal that I do not indulge in? Okay, I'm waiting on somebody to guess. Breakfast, lunch, or dinner? Come on now, it's 22 people in here. One of y'all just guess. And if you guess wrong, then I'll just explain why it's wrong. Put in the chat, which meal do I not indulge in? I'm waiting. Wait a minute. Somebody said the nigger meal. Then Koya Heathen says fifth lunch. You're close. I like that you said lunch because it's not breakfast. Okay, so what I don't indulge in much is breakfast. And this is why. I'm someone that, and yeah, the Happy Meal. I'm done with McDonald's. What's a nigger meal, Elevate? Because I'm a Negro. Okay, I'm an American Negro. So what you calling a nigger meal? I know you ain't trying to call me no nigger, are you? Why I gotta be a nigger meal, dog? Elevate, I need you to explain more what the nigger meal, because I don't know what a nigger meal is. I need you to tell me. Tell me what a nigger meal is. I'm really curious to know what a nigger meal is. So let me explain something. Okay. Let me shred this up. Because I think that was somewhat of a like racist comment. So I don't eat nigger meals. Because nigger meal, Elevate called it Nigger. He said nigger like the Klansman, y'all. So Elevate. But okay, Elevate also said the Happy Meal. But why can't a Happy Meal be a hunky meal? Why a Happy Meal gotta be a nigger meal? Because a Happy Meal is fucking bad for you, right? So just tell me, why can't it be? Because the opposite of nigger would be hunky, right? So why can't a Happy Meal from McDonald's be a hunky meal? Because what race are you, Elevate? What race are you? You black or white? Because I'm wondering why a Happy Meal got to be a nigger meal. It's a Happy Meal. It's bad fucking food. It's not a nigger meal or a hunky meal. But I'm just letting you know that since he spelled it Nigger, like nigger, he didn't say nigga, he didn't say negro, which would be what I am. He didn't say the appropriate words. He's not saying African American or none of that. He said it's a nigger meal. So he won't say what race he is. So a Happy Meal ain't a nigger meal. It's a nigger meal, hunky meal. It's a lot. Hunky is the hunky or cracker. Those would be the Peckerwood meal. Thank you. Koya, thank you. Koya Heathen said the Peckerwood meal. Yeah, why can't it be the Peckerwood meal? Elevate. Why I gotta be the nigger meal? Because see, I pick up on this passive aggressive shit, calling me out my name. I'm not a nigger, okay? So if I'm a nigger, that's what you are too. So you a nigger too, motherfucker. So don't come on here calling me no goddamn nigger. You put that shit again, I'ma block you. I'm not no nigger. You the nigger. You ain't a Peckerwood or a hunky. You a motherfucking nigger. Call yourself that shit. Okay, so let's move on with the lesson. So let's get back to anxiety. And see, you know what? If this motherfucker elevate person, if they had a proper amount of anxiety, they would know not to say that to me. Get on here and call me a damn nigger. You know what? I live on the West Coast. I'm an American Negro. I'm not just an American. I went over another live about this. I'm an American Negro. Negro, go through my last few lives. I go over this. I'm not going to go over it again. I'm not just going to call myself an American, because calling myself an American alone does not explain the slave ancestry that comes from my grandmother's side and my grandfather's side. My ancestors were prior slaves. And I already talked about this on one of my lives. It's on my birth certificate. I am not just an American, because I'm not an Asian. I'm not a white person. I'm not a full-blown Indian. I'm not a full-blooded Indian. I'm an American Negro. It's on my birth certificate. I'd rather be called a Negro than to be called Black and African American. I don't prefer to be called an African American because I have never went to Africa. I have never visited Africa. So I'm not just an American. I'm more than just an American. Okay? I'm more. Because a lot of Americans didn't build up this country, and they came in from other countries, and they didn't build it up through their ancestors being slaves. So I'm an American Negro because my Black ancestors helped to build this motherfucking country. Okay, that's why I'm an American Negro, and I'm proud of it. So I'm not just an American. Just being an American wipes out who I truly am. Me being an American doesn't explain my nappy ass hair I have when I wake up. I'm not just an American. Because remember, an American, that all American family, when they be talking about that shit, they talking about the white family. The white family with the picket fence and stuff. Okay, Koya said everybody has a hand in building this country. Yes, they did. But my ancestors was forced to fucking do the shit. They would get their ass kicked if they didn't do it. A lot of people helped to build America, but they helped to build it voluntarily. My ancestors didn't want to be slaves. And I really don't give a fuck about who else helped to build it. In this conversation, I don't care about that. I'm talking about Negro Americans or Black Americans where their ancestors was forced to do this shit. My ancestors could lose their life if they didn't build America. They were forced to do it. They had a slave master. Okay? So I know everybody helped build it and a lot of people helped build it, but that's not my situation. The man that came over here voluntarily from China that wanted to work for a construction company, he voluntarily builds this country. He wasn't forced to do it like my ancestors were. So that's the difference. Hopefully that makes sense. And see, this is another thing. As a Negro American, this is another thing I've learned to do, y'all, is, and this is something that we got to work on, right? As Black Americans, we're conditioned to not be allowed to talk about ourselves, right? So when I'm talking about what happened with my Negro ancestry, I'm supposed to talk about giving other people credit. And I don't have to do that right now because I'm not talking about them. So see, as a Negro American, it's like you're not allowed to talk about your fucking self and what your ancestors went through. Most people that built this country built it voluntarily, not with motherfucking whips and pistols and shit pulled on them. Okay, so we got to understand the brutality of slavery. And no, I'm not just going to say I'm an American. But thank you. I mean, everybody that built America is good. But like I said, the Chinese man that purchases a plane ticket and comes over here to do it voluntarily, he did it because he wanted to, because he wanted to reap the benefits of America. That's not how it happened for my ancestors. My ancestors would get their ass kicked if they told slave master they didn't want to go out there and do something for his ass. So that's the difference. It's like comparing a prisoner of war to somebody that voluntarily picks a job to work in the prison system. It would be like comparing a correctional officer or a guard that has applied for that job and wants to be ethical and diligent, and then he wants to work in a prison or jail system, to some man that's been kidnapped and that's made to live in a cell and be a prisoner of war. Ain't they two different ball games? They not the same. Okay, so enough. I'm about tired of this. Is about the second comment where somebody trying to get me to take Negro off of it. I'm not just an American. I'm not just gonna call myself that. I'm gonna add the other word so you know how hard my ancestors worked and how strong my grandmother was to have came from slave ancestry and move all the way from Alabama to St. Louis, Missouri, and take her grandkids in, run a restaurant her whole life, and raise me in it. I'm going to give her credit for that and what she came from. Me just saying I'm an American don't give my grandmother and my family credit for really what they went through. Because what they went through saved my life. So I can be on this channel and I don't have to be whipped by massa no more. Nothing against European Americans or white Americans, that's cool, but they can't just come in here and say, bitch, you got to do what we say no more. I could call the fucking police now and say, nah, this person here, they trying to hold me against my will. So I'll add this to it. Part of being an aware empath, I'll add this, you should know your history. You should know your proper racial identity. So you're talking to an aware empath. I know who I am. Okay? So you can't talk me out of who I am. Okay? It just won't work here. Because I'm not on here telling y'all what not to call yourself. I can't tell no Chinese man not to call himself a Chinese American. I'm not allowed to do that, right? But see, that's been allowed. People have been allowed to do that to black people for so many years because we the only race where every fucking 2 years we a different label. We a Negro, we a nigger, we're an African American, we're Afro American, we're black, we're indigenous. We got like 50 motherfucking labels on us. And so with the Negro Americans, that's why I should have just stayed Negro American. Then we start saying we black. Now people that's not black saying they black. Everybody's fucking black now. A white person with blonde hair and blue eyes now walks up to me and say, you know, I'm black like you, sister. Let me shake your hand. Come on now. This is just getting out of hand. But then somebody with blonde hair and blue eyes is not going to get the discrimination that I'm going to get going into a job looking more black than they do. Exactly. Koyat Heathen. Yeah, exactly. I've been an American the whole time. Yeah. Because you know what? I'm hip to the fact that some of my ancestors was already here. Especially when you got a little Indian blood in you. They was black Indians. They was already here. That white man didn't go pick my relatives up from no fucking where. My people was already in America. Some of them were already in America. They was here. This was their land. And then the white man took them over. And then some came from other places. What do you mean, no? It is true. Part of my relatives was here. Because I'm of mixed heritage. What are you talking about? All of my family not from no damn Africa. So it is true. What do you mean, Koya? How you gonna tell me who the hell I am? How you gonna do that? What you mean it's not true? What's not true? Black Indians were already here. Some Africans were already here. All Africans wasn't kidnapped from Africa. Those are lies they told you. Oh, I thought you said Africans were already here. Some of them were. Some Africans were already here. They be telling you lies. They making you think that Africans didn't travel. They making you think that every African was just laying there like a pussy waiting to get picked up and put in chains. You don't think Africans traveled? You think all Africans was waiting on the white man to say, please kidnap me? What do you think? Africans are stupid? What do you think? Africans are stupid? No, it's no way. Yes. All these people that they brought here, some of them were already here. I didn't say all of them. Some of them were already here. You cannot believe the full version of your abuser. Your abuser, which is slave master, is not going to tell you the whole story. Some Africans already were here. All of them wasn't sitting up waiting like pussies to get kidnapped. And the Africans that were probably already here, the Africans and the Black Indians, them was the ones that was beating Massa's ass and saying, fuck you, kill me. They want you to believe this ain't your land, and it is. This is my land here. I'm not no motherfucking African American because this is my shit here. This is the stuff that was stolen from my family. Okay? Do you know my family in Alabama? Massa, the slave master, left us his land. I talked about this in other videos. We have over an acre of land in Alabama that my family lives on RVs. They stay in their own RVs and they stay on the land. Slave master left us the land because he know it's our shit anyway. My Black ancestors might not have been shipped from nowhere. That's why slave master and our family left us the fucking land. Because he was cursed. He wasn't allowed to have kids. Him and his wife couldn't have kids. God took that from him. His name was Thoth, y'all. Thoth was the slave master of my ancestors in Alabama. And he wasn't allowed to have kids with his wife. That's his punishment for having freaking slaves. What tribe are you affiliated with? The Bantu tribe. I'm part of the Bantu people, which they would be Africans that are they're linked to the Shaka Zulu tribe, y'all. And I could tell you a story about Shaka Zulu. I thought my grandmother was out her freaking batty mind, right? She used to have this photo in the dining room of her restaurant. And it was a photo of Shaka Zulu. I would sit there when I was alone with him. Beautiful photo. You know, Shaka Zulu was an African king. And I would stare at this photo. And it was something about his eyes that resonated with me. Like I felt like I was kin to him, y'all. I couldn't explain it to save my life. So one day my grandmother came upstairs in the dining room and she caught me doing it. And she looked at Shaka Zulu and she said, you know that's your people, right? I'm like, I was too ashamed to really say I had a connection to them. So I was like, okay, that's my people. And then I'm starting, I'm looking at, well, I'm light skinned, he dark skinned, so I'm kind of like gaslighting myself. But my grandmother told me that. As I studied, and me and my cousin, because in my family, we have family reunions. We have family, I guess maybe the tribe of Judah. The tribe of Judah, I guess, would be the tribe that I would think I would be most connected with, I think. So, but I know that I'm related to the Bantu people. And what the Bantu people were, they were basically biracial Africans. They were mixed with two Black African bloodlines, which is South African bloodline and West African bloodline. Okay, so it was crazy. As I looked at the photos of some of the Bantu people, there's a lot of similarities. I looked on there, I'm like, damn, this lady got on my earrings, and I got my head wrapped, my hair covering is wrapped just like this lady. So the Bantu people linked to the Shaka Zulu tribe. So remember when I thought my grandmother was bat crazy? When she told me that's your people there on the wall. I was haunted by that. I just learned this like about 12 months ago, within the last 12 months. So I guess when I die, I got to apologize to my grandmother, because I'm like, my grandmother was right. So basically, I was having like an ancestral connection with Shaka Zulu, and Shaka Zulu was linked in with the Bantu tribe, the tribe of Judah. All of that is kind of connected together. Yeah, and the white man won't tell you that some of them was already here. Everybody that came from Africa wasn't beat up. See, they want to paint Africans like pussies, right? They want to, don't believe this shit. Don't you know Africans, we whoop ass? So they want to make you believe, and you're crazy if you believe this, that every African came here because a white man showed up with some shotguns and managed to get some chains on the brothers and sisters and made them get on a stinky ass boat and came over here. That's kind of irrational to believe that. Come on now. Me as a Negro American and an American with African roots, I know better than to believe that. Don't you think I know better than to believe that? Why would I believe some stupid shit like that? Come on now. Black people, we don't roll like that. You just ain't. I'm here alone. My relative is asleep in the other room. As a Black woman, you think somebody just gonna come in here and just take over that motherfucking easy? That's not how it works. Come on now, stop believing these fantasy stories. Making Africans sound like freaking punks. They not punks. Every African wasn't taken by force. They not gonna tell you that. Just like what the Nat Turner Rebellion. They kept that a secret for years. They don't want to tell you that one of the slaves went out there and killed the white women, men, and kids and all. They said, fuck your little kids. I'm killing your 2-year-old today. You doing this shit to us. They don't want to tell you. For many, many years, they wanted to keep the Nat Turner Rebellion hush hush. So don't believe those stories. Don't believe anything that's not logical, y'all. Don't believe anything that's not logical. And all Negroes are not Africans. You got the Black Indian Negroes. It's just like with Asians. You got Koreans, Chinese, and Japanese. We'll go with those three. I'm not going to include the Filipinos, okay? Because they got their own history that's very unique and separate from Chinese, Japanese, and Koreans. So if I'm around a Chinese, Japanese, and Korean, once you get to know them, they're different. I now know the difference between a Japanese person, a Chinese person, and a Korean. They're not the same. Negroes are the same way. We're not all the same. You got Black Indian Negroes. You got Negroes that are actually put on the ship from Africa, and then you had those Negroes that were already here. And we have 3 different distinct looks about us. We don't all necessarily look the same, but we're all Negroes. Okay, so if that makes sense. So yeah, don't believe all them slave master stories, y'all. Don't believe it, because they lie all the time. And I know for a fact, ain't no bunch of white men just took control of every Black person, kidnapped them, and brought them here. Some motherfuckers was already here. So while the other white people is going to pick up more of us, they're already fighting with the ones that's already here. Because as Black people, we are fighting for our land. Because this is more likely your land. So another label that I call myself that I don't use on this channel all the time is I'm an indigenous Negro. Okay, which means this is my shit. America, I ain't no foreigner to fucking American. I'm not a foreigner here. So I also consider myself an indigenous person. And I have a right to say that because on my grandmother's side, there's Black Indian blood. And I know you're not going to tell me the Black Indians from damn Africa. They from America. Okay? They was already here. Was the Black Indians kidnapped? And they don't look like Mexicans and light-skinned Caucasians like them fucking photos looking like. They was black, dark-skinned, caramel complected. Stop looking at a Black Indian like they just look like fucking white people. Study your history. You know, they took a lot of these photos and made the people look white. That's basically what they did, y'all. They took shit, they probably want to do it to Shaka Zulu. Check in 15 years. Shaka Zulu is black, muscular, and beautiful. In 15 years, if you Google Shaka Zulu, he might look like a white man. They might make his lips look small. They take photos of what we used to look like and make it and falsify the photo and make it look like a white man. Now I know damn right. See, I'm blessed because I saw the real photo of Shaka Zulu. I know damn well he ain't got blue eyes and blonde hair and little small lips. But in 15 years on Google, they gonna put Shaka Zulu on Google and he gonna look like a motherfucking blonde hair, blue eyed. The only thing they gonna keep on him is his muscles to make it look like he wanted like the Stoics. How like when you look up the Stoic videos, they'll make Shaka Zulu look like he got on muscles and shit. Come on now. This is what they did. They rewrite history. They make people look different than what they really look like at first. Okay? So yeah, I hope that makes sense. No offense to nobody. Yeah. And Koyat Heathen, you could say it's not true earlier, but you know, I study. So you just got to study a little bit more. That's why this is called Advanced Insight Channel. I did my studying. Also using common sense. You got to use your common sense, y'all. You got to be sober. Don't drink no liquor now. Now, if I go tip up the liquor, I'm going to say, yeah, they beat down all my people and put them on ships and brought them over here. That's a intoxicated way of thinking. It's not sober though. You got to be sober to think like me. Yeah, I think you study. I do. I know you study if you hear. I know you study. I'm saying study a little more and use a little bit more logic. I'm telling you, don't believe that the only way Black people and Africans got on American land is through being kidnapped. That's Massa's theory. Your abuser is not going to tell you the whole truth, y'all. Massa, or the white man that was slave masters, they're not going to tell you the full truth. You cannot rely on your abuser to tell you who you are. You got to figure some of this out yourself. Go to one YouTuber that's really great that I like. Go to Dane Calloway channel. It's just like a lot of brothers and sisters are figuring out that they're really the real Israelites. Stuff like that. You think Massa gonna tell you the real Israelite? Come on now. Massa's not gonna tell you shit like that. They're gonna make you think that being an Israelite has no connection to you as a Black man or woman. They're not going to tell you who the fuck you are. And then you're going to have people with a slave mentality that's going to say, no, Massa, I'm not an Israelite because Massa didn't tell me that. They really going to believe they not something more powerful because Massa didn't tell them. Some Negroes got to have Massa tell them. Massa got to come back from the dead and tell them who the hell they are. So people are discovering their real identity. And they not discovering their real identity through through just listening to the story Massa told them. I knew it was more to it because every slave ship photo I ever seen, I knew this from childhood, y'all. Let me tell you my first red flag that I knew something wasn't right. All the slave ship photos I saw were hand drawn. It was never an actual one step photo. Click, click, click. It was never none of that. It's always some old shit that was drawn. I was smart enough to know that everybody ain't shitted and pissed on the slave ship and made it safely. They was all in them little compartments, y'all, and just lived to see America, right? Yeah, they had more pictures than you think, Koyat. There were pictures, because I had a big old photo of Shaka Zulu hung up in my grandmother's restaurant in the dining room. It was pictures. Yeah, I don't know about that. They had photos of the slaves back then, real pictures of the slaves. So why wasn't it no photos of the slave ships, Koyat? Because they had photos of the slaves, so it was pictures. Because I saw some of them damn pictures. Yeah, you could go with what you want to believe. Check this out. The slave ship wasn't found neither. Fuck a photo of it. Where the fucking slave ship go? Ask yourself that. Don't just... Okay, so let me look up this. First photo. Because remember, before cameras, they had artists drawing us, y'all. They would have an artist that sit there and draw you. So the first photo ever to be taken, I guess, from a camera is in 1826 or 1827. But I want to point this out. I'm going to give you a perfect example. Okay, I'm going to give you an example. This is going to really, you're going to struggle with this. Okay. Back when I was raised, people didn't have regular washers and dryers in their house. Okay, listen to this example very carefully. However, my grandmother's restaurant had a washer and dryer. Okay. So keep in mind, when you look online and they say the first camera was 1826, that means when it went public. So let me go on with this washer and dryer story. So all my friends, none of them had a washer and dryer. They was using them old school, do it by hand, whatever that old school washer is. It wasn't like the washer and dryers we have now. And when I say a washer and dryer, the top loader, because back then we wasn't exposed to the front loader, the top loader, washer and dryer. So I'm walking around, I'm living in a different era already, because none of my friends have a washer and dryer in the home at first, to many years later. But my grandmother had one, because guess what? Washers and dryers were only sold to businesses. So you had to have a business license, and then you were allowed to order a washer and dryer, because washers and dryers were considered industrial. But nobody else, none of my other friends had a washer and dryer in their home at first. My grandmother had a washer and dryer in her business 20-something years. So I want to point out, some of this stuff was available to certain other people, but not you. So just because they say the first picture was taken was 1826, pretty much the first camera picture was probably taken more like the 1700s, the late 1700s, because when it come out, you don't have access to it, but other people do. So when I look at them old school washer boards, that's foreign to me. because my grandmother always had a real washer and dryer. When other Negroes was on their knees using a washer board, I don't know what the fuck that is. I don't know how to use a washer board because I was raised in an industrial environment in my grandmother's restaurant part of my life. So I hope that makes sense. So when something is first invented, it's been going on. Okay, it's just like the first pair of socks. Yeah, we have access to it now, but that same pair of socks you wearing, people in another country could have been wearing them same damn socks for 200 years. So I hope that makes sense, because this is a real life story of the washer and dryer. When I look online and I see washboards, I said, damn, I missed the washboard era. I missed that era because I was in the industrial area. In the industrial era. I mean, not area, era. So my grandmother, I've been known about a washer and dryer. And my grandmother would order washers and dryers because only business owners could get them at that time. Washers and dryers were not in the regular hardware stores at that time. You only could get it if you was a business owner. So my grandmother would order washers and dryers for other friends and family members. While we go into other motherfuckers' houses and they still on their motherfucking using their hands with no gloves, fucking their hands up using the fucking washboard. I don't know shit about a washboard because I had access to something that other people did not have access to, because I was being raised part of my life in my grandmother's restaurant. So when you think cameras came about, let's use our logic now. They been had cameras. They just decided to let y'all use the cameras in 1820 something. That's what happened. So anything that comes out to you, other people have usually been had access to, if that makes sense. So you want to come into awareness and know about different situations so that you'll be more smarter and understand what's really going on. I'm gonna point this out, y'all. I took some notes on this. Religious downfalls. Okay, so I'm seeing a lot of stuff. I weigh in 2 to 3 times a day. Even though you're not seeing my face on this live, I'm not getting any bigger, y'all. I stand. Whenever I do a live, I'm never sitting. Okay, I'm never sitting. That's why when y'all leave a comment, or sometimes I get a comment like the one guy called me a nigger on the slide, that's why I'm ready for it. I'm already standing. I'm not sitting down taking this. Thank you for the smile, Koyat Heathen. Thank you so much. So he's smart. Are you a gentleman? Or are you a he? I just want to make sure. I think you're a man. I just want to confirm because I don't want to be calling you outside of your gender. And no disrespect. I just stand my ground. So it was no disrespect to you, Koyat Heathen. I mean, I like your comments and your participation in the live. I'm very grateful for you. We're a team here. Yep, you're a man. I'm pretty good with knowing a male from a female. I look at the YouTube name and the way you type, and I get that male energy. Male energy is good energy. So I like it. I like males and men because they bring out that point in me that sometimes girls don't always bring out. Men challenge me. I want to be challenged. I don't want to stay slow. I want to be challenged. So I appreciate him. And I learned from him and y'all, and he's learning from me. So religious downfalls. I'm about sick of seeing it. And I'm not going to lie, y'all. When I see YouTubers and ladies, and I see them getting bigger and bigger, I tune out their channel because I've had a weight struggle and I've had to keep 25 pounds off me, y'all. I got up to 190 pounds at some point, and I'm a short lady. I barely could breathe coming down my steps. One of my kids started making fun of me, y'all. And y'all may feel like, well, that's a bad boy or whatever. Shit, I thank him. Don't tell me, oh, mom, you're so beautiful, you're so healthy. Don't fucking tell me that. I love the type of males in my family. What you mean? Oh, get the belt? Nah, I ain't whoop him. I got the belt on my ass. When I got 190 pounds, I said, you a little asshole motherfucker, but you right. I gotta get this shit together. So my testimony is that I kept 100 and not 100. I don't know why I keep saying 100. I kept 25 pounds off of me for 3 years consistently. Prior to the 3 years, so 4 years ago, I struggled. I went from 190 to 165, 190 to 170. I could not keep this fucking weight off me. It was 25 pounds that was going to take me up out of here. I was having asthma attacks, couldn't hardly breathe, getting up and down my steps. It was horrible. So I'm not in that condition no more. And it was ugly on me. I'm not cute with that weight. Yeah, I gave him more than the belt. I gave him something else. I gave him a fist. So I gave him more than a belt. Me and him was boxing, y'all. I said, yeah, I may be a fat motherfucker, but I'm gonna beat your ass, boy. So yeah, I hit with my hands. They stop crying when I get the belt. Can you imagine spanking two of your sons with a belt and they fucking roll their eyes at you? I'm like, y'all didn't cry? So then I learned how sick parents are. I said, I don't want to whoop you no more. You ain't cry. So I'm like, oh, the whole time parents are spanking you so you can cry? Wow, that's weird. So yeah, I stopped. I'm not going to whoop you if you don't cry. Like, so two of my sons, they stopped crying. I didn't need to whoop them often, y'all. Overall, my sons were pretty good boys. I'm not going to lie. It's when they got in the teenage years and got it peer pressure stuff. I had almost the perfect family, y'all. But then I had one little predator that spark off in the family. And my predator son popped it all off. And y'all can go back in my videos. He's in my live videos, my predator son. I called him out by his name too. Fuck this respect for motherfuckers. I'm so tired of people threatening me and I'm hiding their fucking identity. That son name is Elijah. He's an asshole, okay? So I call out their names now. Fuck it. Anytime a motherfucker keep calling me a bunch of bitches and hoes and talking about they gonna have a witch put a curse on me and unalive me, his name's Elijah. He lucky I ain't telling his fucking last name. Okay, and I did lives on that. He's disrespectful. He texted me today. He was cool. I'm working with the brother. That's my son. But yeah, it's when they got in the teen years, and then that gene of their daddy wanted to pop off because their daddy is an abuser, so that gene has to come out. And my grandmother fucked abusers up, so that gene got to come out, right? So we all got these genes, this DNA that has to come out. But yeah, so these videos, going back to what I was saying, these videos with ladies that continue to get bigger. So these will be some of the dynamics, and they love to be on the camera. They're always sitting too. They're always sitting in a vehicle. They're gaining about an average of 20 pounds a year. So say I'm watching one sister, she's about 190. She's that weight I came out of. So 25 pounds off as a short woman, that takes me down to about 160, 165. So this is where I remain at. It's a comfortable, slim, thick weight is what I call it. I'm working on getting another 15 pounds off. But I'm not gonna lie, I like a little juicy thighs. I like a little titty. I like stuff like that. I'm not, my goal is not to be skinny. Okay. I don't think men really like toothpicks. I don't want to be a toothpick. I like having some padding on me, so to speak. So, yeah, so with these women with the weight, YouTubers, and these are the ones, like, I'm not showing my face, but a YouTuber that's gaining 20 pounds a year, she has to show herself. And it's amazing to me why they're not doing weight videos and not, I guess they're not tuned into my channel and understanding their weight. But what happens is because of their religious beliefs, they're not noticing their weight. So this is some of the religious downfalls, the delusions, because one sister, she's totally focused on scripture, which that's okay, but if she keep gaining that weight, she's gonna be in a casket soon. So these are the dynamics of these religious type of lady YouTubers. I see it a lot with ladies. They're always sitting on their butt. They're delusional, and they're always not living in reality and focused on a scripture, because the Lord says your body is your temple. Koyat Heathen, that's her problem. Well, I do care. Let me tell you why I care, Koyat Heathen. I bring up weight on this channel. Okay, I bring up weight. So we do want to care. Because see, on this channel, I can bring this up. So I'm teaching you some skills. As a man, are you doing your weigh-ins every day? What's your weight? What's your weight like, Koyat Heathen? What's your weight like? Do you know your current weight? And I'm talking about know it like you got a digital scale. I'm going to just put ladies and men in this because I know some male YouTubers. Okay, 135. Okay, that's a good weight. Okay. So you're a average height man? Because 135, you're doing good with your weight. Okay, so you may not care, but let's use him as an example. Koyat Heathen says he's 135. Some men will say, oh, he's skinny. No, he's not. He's his normal weight. He's the same weight of my male relative that's here. I'm so tired of men saying his weight is skinny. That's the weight I used to be. And this is the weight that 135, Koyat Heathen, that's the weight that the sister used to be. If you look at this one YouTuber and you look at her videos from 10, 15 years ago, that's the way she used to be. So imagine watching this YouTuber, and I'm watching her every year. 155. Now she's 175. Now she's 195. Now she's over 200. I love this sister, so I care. Sometimes I be wanting to leave a comment about it. So I'm trying to get you to understand dynamics and how what I do to keep that weight curse off me. I just I tune out of it, and I'm not gonna lie. Because of what I've gone through and my desire to keep my weight to a better weight, I don't ever want to be 190. So it's not in my best interest to be watching other black women and even white ones, no matter their race, that's getting over 200 pounds. That's a spirit. I don't want to be conditioned that that's the correct weight. But I just wanted to bring it up as a religious downfall, because one of the dynamics of this weight issue is the religion. It's just like the big old pastors. A pastor would tell Koyat Heathen, now, young man, when you gonna get some weight on you, young man? And he actually the normal weight. Keep up the great work, Koyat Heathen. I love your weight. And congratulations, he's doing the right thing. I don't know if he's walking, working out, but he knows his weight. That's a good sign. But get that digital scale, so as you get older, you can keep that weight down. So that way you don't go past 140. You can keep this weight the rest of your life. Yeah, gluttony's a sin. You hear Koyat Heathen? He says gluttony's a sin. Absolutely. And that's what I'm talking about, gluttony. I'm not trying to talk bad about the sister and the brothers that are YouTubers that gain weight. I just want y'all to be aware of it, because it's a religious downfall. And I'm promoting more healthy weight, like your weight, Koyat Heathen. So I'm promoting your weight. Isn't this so beautiful that he's 135 pounds? That's so beautiful. I love that. And yeah, so I recommend not gaining more of it and getting it down. Like I said, I got to 190. Oh my God, I was sick. 25 pounds I kept off. I never want to get that big again. I don't see how somebody could get to 600 pounds. I was almost about to check out. My body couldn't handle the weight. Oh my God, I was in horrible shape. I'm so glad my badass son made fun of me. See, I taught my children not to lie. Don't tell me that's pretty. Mm-mm. Then when I lost the weight, my son complimented me. He said, "You look nice today, Mom." I said, "Thank you, son." But and then my son, he started gaining weight, and I had to encourage him to keep the weight down. All my sons are about Koyat Heathen's weight. They're not big fat guys. Because I teach them, like Koyat Heathen say, gluttony's a sin. My sons are your weight, Koyat Heathen, and I support it. I don't tell my sons, "Ooh, you too little, dog." No, because if you go to the rush.edu average weight calendar, that's the weight you should be. That's the weight you should be. So, yeah, keep up the great work. This is what I'm supporting: normal and healthiness. And I'm really proud of you. And thank you for telling everyone your weight, so they'll know that being 200 damn pounds at 5 feet tall ain't normal. You got to get that shit off you. All that weight, it links to power chairs and wheelchairs. That's why you be paralyzed when you get older. It's all them years of all that weight on your bones. Your body can't take it no more. So, okay, anybody got any questions? Any questions? Let me see. So what we all want to become aware empath. So we stop making stupid decisions. I talked about that in the other live. I gave the 4 personality types that I learned from HG Tutor that I completely agree with. And so I'm just shredding up some of these notes, y'all. So any more questions? Gluttony is a sin. I'm going to say that again. Koyat Heathen, thank you so much. Gluttony is a sin. And that's all I'm saying. Like, I could tell when a person's gaining 20 pounds a year and they're just getting bigger and bigger and they're just totally delusional, keep showing their face and body, because all the viewers notice they're getting bigger. It got to be other people that stop watching them outside of me. It's almost like watching their death, y'all. I don't want to keep watching their death. I got to tune out of it. It's not healthy, because I don't want to be conditioned that weight is healthy. I want to go with Koyat Heathen. I want to be more on his page with the 135 pounds. His weight better than mine, y'all. I'm just trying to be consistent with keeping the weight off. But he a man. He ain't got titties, ass, thighs, and shit like that. I got shit he shouldn't have on him, y'all. But yeah, so that's basically it. So any questions? And I'm gonna say this again and mean it from the heart. And being an empath ain't nothing to brag about. It's been painted that narcissists are the worst people, and they want to keep you thinking that so you don't know how fucked up other empaths are, especially if they're an unaware empath. They just gonna keep all of us in an abuse cycle to the day we die because of that so-called nice trait. The nice trait will keep you unhappy and depressed. And it's the number one reason why unaware empaths suffer from depression. The good thing about being an empath, anything history related, the good thing about being an empath, is that I watched this YouTube channel. I think it's called Black Journals. Um, yeah, it's called Black Journals, y'all. And then Black Archives. I love Black Archives. Let me confirm it, because actually what I'm gonna do is send you to a history channel, right? Where I love to watch history. And I like to watch some of it, y'all, because I like watching the real hair and stuff. Back in the day, before everybody had on a weave, everybody had on fake eyelashes, and stuff like that. So let me see. So Black Archives. Oh, way back archives. So it's way back archives. One of my favorite videos is this 1989 news special video. It's on the Way Back Archives channel, y'all. And it's about AIDS in the Black and minorities community. So what I'll do, I'll post this under the description box, but this is some of the video right here. Listen.
No matter what is said from the pulpit, and no matter what is said on television.
So this is some history. So I'll play a couple of minutes of this, but I like the Black Journals, but I like the history that's in the Way Back Archives. So listen to some of this, y'all, since Koyat Heathen want to hear some history.
AIDS has always been a disease of them, not us.
It says AIDS has always been a disease of them. They're talking about AIDS. And this is called 1989 news special. And with a colon, then it says AIDS in the Black and minority communities, real stories. It was posted 2 years ago.
AIDS has always been a disease of them, not us. Those homosexuals, those drug addicts, not people like you and me. Whole communities turned their back on the epidemic and said that it just couldn't happen to them. Chief among those that denied the possibility were America's Black and Hispanic communities, minorities. But as you will see in the next 60 minutes, that denial has already cost thousands of lives, threatens thousands more, and should serve as a warning to the rest of America.
I just woke up one day and the muscles had atrophied in such a way that I couldn't stand, and so I said, well, it's time to go to the hospital. When I got here, they said that I was in really bad shape.
I thought that I was so clean, so unique, and different from everyone else, and it goes to show that you're not. The disease have no particular person. Pero nunca pensé que yo la fuera a tener.
You don't have to be a dirty person to have AIDS.
In our pediatric AIDS clinic, 95% of our children are Black.
I learned in 1985, when the AIDS antibody test was developed, that I was positive. Knowing about AIDS and having many friends who had become mysteriously ill, it didn't at that time even have the same names that it has now. Much, much less was known.
Much as the death of Rock Hudson brought home the tragedy of this disease to small-town America, the death of Max Robinson made Blacks sit up and realize that AIDS is not just a disease of whites and homosexuals.
From ABC, this is World News Tonight with Max Robinson in Chicago.
As the first Black anchor of a weekday network evening news program, Max was a symbol and role model for a generation of Black men and women.
250,000 people had to be evacuated after one of the derailed cars started leaking deadly liquid chlorine.
Always a very private person, Max spent his last years preparing his public for his death.
I never recommended my way. I did the best I could. But try to keep your integrity. Because you're going to find out in life at the end. That's all you got.
And when Max was certain that he had the AIDS virus, we had a talk at his bedside, really a year before he died, when he thought he was going to die the first time. And so I had never known Max to be a homosexual. And so the AIDS virus he had suggested it. He said, no, in my case,
or it's a matter of promiscuity?
Max did the best he could with his death. It was his explicit wish that his death be used to alert the African American community to the danger of AIDS. Max was famous, the most famous black who ever died of AIDS, and therefore the message went all over, not only all over the country, but all over the world.
Max's death not only made it clear that blacks were a part of the AIDS epidemic, but it focused attention on the extent to which AIDS has spread in the black community. It's something that cannot be ignored.
I don't accept the notion that one is racist if one points out the fact that there's a disproportionate amount of AIDS cases among minorities in this nation. That is a fact.
Almost 1 out of 3 AIDS victims is black. In some cities, the AIDS infection rate in blacks is 6 times higher than in whites.
The minority situation in America is particularly telling for blacks. 12% of the population, 27% of the AIDS patients. For Hispanics, it's 6% of the population, 15%.
If I had to give a score to the things that most sorely affect this community, AIDS would rank 95 at this juncture.
Out of 100.
And I have to say fair use, y'all. I forgot about that. That's part of YouTube guidelines. So YouTube, I apologize, and I apologize to y'all, because even though this is a small channel, I try to obey the rules, okay? So fair use, y'all.
Out of 100.
This is the human face of those cold statistics. Babies. Of the almost 1,500 children with AIDS, 70% are black and Hispanic. In large urban areas like Baltimore, it's even higher. Here, 9 out of 10 babies born infected with the AIDS virus, or HIV, are black.
These babies acquired their infection from their infected mothers. They're basically poor women. They have little identity of their own. Their identity is founded either in the relationship with men who may move around in the community, who may be drug users, and who are spreading HIV.
So far, this 4-year-old boy seems safe. His mother, Laverne Hodges, is a recovering drug addict. She became infected with the AIDS virus by sharing needles.
I tested HIV positive a year ago, and that means that I have a disease. With so far, there's no known cure for it, but it could be arrested if you do the right things that you need to do. And one for me is to stop using drugs, first of all, and take care of myself, rest, sleep, not a lot of and with God's help, maybe I won't become full-blown and die. I'm 34 years old. I'm a recovering addict, and I have 2 children. I have an 18-year-old daughter and a 4-year-old son. What concerns me about that disease, that I hope my son don't have it, because I used drugs when I was pregnant with him. I also had him tested, and thank God, so far he doesn't have it.
And I don't think that there are very, very many people saying to minority women, you're at risk, and you're at risk, and this is this disease, and that it's going to cause problems in your infants if you don't recognize and be tested for it, that this behavior.
And the other sister recognized that she used drugs when she was pregnant. And I do plan on doing a video about the use of drugs while pregnant and the harm that it causes to the babies and the mom and stuff like that. So that's actually a video idea that I'm going to be doing as well. So I'll play a few more minutes of this, but y'all can go, since everybody got off the live. So just go to the 1989 news special, AIDS in the Black and minority communities. And then I'll put this video in the description box. So this live is ending unless somebody else is going to come back in it. If nobody's in the live, then it's just going to end. So, okay. So somebody came back in, so I'll continue to play the video. This is 1989 news special, AIDS in the Black and minority community.
Behavior that we've sort of dismissed is a part of your life now, and you need to understand how it's going to affect your children. That's not happening.
Sometimes when you're caught up in the drug world, you don't hear those things. It's like we just live for danger. And then I wasn't educated about it.
So when a woman finds out she's infected, why would she continue to childbear? One of the major factors in this is the fact that HIV is only transmitted to roughly 40% of the babies born to infected women. So that every woman can believe she has only a 50-50 chance of transmitting this. And again, human nature is to believe it won't happen to me.
I don't think I should have any more because of the disease that I have, and it wouldn't make sense to try to bear another child. I'll just be grateful for the 2 I have.
Okay, y'all, so this video will be in the description box. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you. Bye. Tune in for more.